Hey everyone, my name is Sean, and for these videos I'm going to be showing you these guitar lesson videos, the 100% basics on how to play guitar. Now I realise that I'm doing it on my electric guitar, and some people will be wondering, like, why aren't I doing it on the acoustic guitar? I actually have my acoustic guitar right here, and obviously it's a bit too bulky to play, but the absolute basics of playing the guitar, like the strings and the frets, makes no difference whether you whether you're playing it on the acoustic or if you're playing it on the electric. It sounds absolutely the same. So you can go like this on the acoustic. No difference really, other than like if you plug this thing into an amp, obviously it'll sound differently. Alright, so for the first bit, obviously I'm going to introduce you to the strings of the guitar, which obviously you need to know about the strings. You've got 6 strings here, and I know some people, when they're doing this, they just call the top string the first string, then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Now that can work if it's easier for you to remember that. I mean, some people even go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You do it the other way around. Depending on how you read frets when you're actually looking up different lessons online or something like that, some people read it the other way. Now the way I like to read it, which is the way I recommend you to read it, is the E-A-D-G-B-E. Now I know what you're thinking, like that's just a whole big mishmash of letters, and why don't I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 the other way? Well, the reason is because of this. Now what this thing is here, this is your guitar tuner. It's got these little, actually, you can see these little holes in the side there, but you can barely see them. For electric guitars you can put it into the input, the lead in the input, and then put the other end of the lead into your guitar here. And it makes it a lot easier to tune. You'll be using a lead like this one here. Now this is a bit messy. I'll just get the 2 ends. You got your 2 ends of the lead here. You can put one of them into the input of this. This fits in like that. And you can put the other end into the end of your guitar here. And there you go, it just makes it easier to tune that way. And make sure obviously you have the volume of your guitar turned up. If you're using an electric guitar, to make sure the volume is turned up so that obviously the tuner can pick up the volume of it. Alright, anyways, back to the strings anyway. So the way I said to do it was E-A-D-G-B-E, because that's what they are. These strings, this is known as the E string. It plays an E note. This plays an A note, D, G, B, E. Now I know what you're thinking, why is there 2 E's? Well, this one is called the low E, and it's called the low E because it plays a lower sound. Kinda has that kind of boom kind of sound. And the E down here has a higher pitch. You can play the different ones. Obviously you can hear the E down here a lot better. Now I know, first time I heard that I thought, like, why is that called the low E when it's up and that's the high E when it's down? But it's because of the different sounds of the notes. Alright then, so there's a different way, there's various ways obviously to be trying to remember the names of the strings, the E, A, D, G, B, E. And the way I like to remember it, and thanks to this guy on YouTube called Guitar Hero Phenom, he said to go eat Albert's delicious green beans every day. So you got your E for eat, A for Albert's, D for delicious, G for green, B for beans, and another E for every day. So you gotta eat Albert's delicious green beans every day, and you'll be a great guitar player. Alright, anyways. So that's the strings. Obviously, keep repeating that E-A-D-G-B-E to yourself. It'll eventually get into your head. because it's a better way to remember it when you're tuning it. And obviously if you're maybe trying to do a lesson yourself, you might be more comfortable just saying like, put this finger here and this finger here and this finger here and so on and so forth. But now we have to move on to the frets. Now the frets is all the way down the guitar here. This part of the guitar here, from this part of the headstock all the way down here, is known as the fretboard, and it's obviously the most important piece of the guitar because you can't play it without it. You see, your strings will make different sounds depending on the different frets that it's on. I'll take the A string there on the first fret. You can see the first fret is between the tip of the headstock and the first little metal bar you have here. Now make sure you're not on the metal bar, because it just makes no sound. Well, it makes a sound, but it's not a nice sound. No one ever plays on the bars. You always have to play on the fret. This little black kind of a little box here is the first fret. Then you got your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and so on. All the way down to about like 24. And the different strings obviously make different sounds depending on what fret they're held on. Now that would obviously vary the different sounds you get from different chords. So basically if I'm just to take obviously my A string here, my index finger on the first fret. And I'll go down a fret. I'll keep going. And it's a different sound with the other strings. And that's it. Basically, these are each individual things are your frets. And obviously you will see people when they're playing guitar, they're like way down at the fretboards doing stuff like. Even better than that, obviously. I know I'm not the greatest guitar player myself, but I know the basics and I can help you with this. So that's it. You got your strings and you've got your frets. That's the most important thing. That's all you need to really know for the very absolute basics of the guitar before you can start doing anything like. Now another thing I didn't actually show to you yet is obviously when you're playing guitar you're going to need a little thing called a plectrum. That's this little thing here. A plectrum. Now this is a pretty hard plectrum actually. For just better playing. You can get different kind of plectrums, ones that are a little lighter, and this one actually has a nice little grip on it for when you're just playing like songs like this kind of plectrum is really nice to use. A very light one because you're not going to be doing anything like. Oh, even I still messed that up. So yeah, you got your different kind of plectrums. Now one last thing I'm going to show you, just before this video ends, is when you're making chords, or making songs, sorry, there's this little thing here called a capo. Now, these are very interesting things to have because what they'll do is that basically they'll change the frets. Basically, depending on where you put it. Let's say if I was to take this capo here, just open it up, and place it on the third fret here. And now, these two frets back here, your original first and second fret, are now gone. And basically they've been put down here. But the sound of the pitch has been now increased. You'll see now, basically, your fourth fret here is now your theoretical first fret, depending on where you put the capo. If you take a little look here at the headstock here, this little part here, this acts as the guitar's actual capo, making this the first fret. But when you put it on these capos, you'll change where your first fret is, changing the sound. Now but watch if I was to take off the capo and then play this chord. Very ugly sound. So that's it. That's the basics you need to know. You've got your E, A, D, G, B and E strings. You've got your frets, and you've got your different kind of plectrums, and you've got your capo. These are all the basic little things that you need to be making different songs. In the next video, I'll be showing you some of the basic chords that you'll need to know for playing simple songs such as Knocking on Heaven's Door. Thanks for watching.